Joining us now for more insight, criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, thank you for your time. So we heard Brian Enton's report there, some graphic testimony, some graphic video, which only the jurors saw there. What stands out to you most after this first full day of trial?
Hey, Nicole, great to be with you. Boy, that comment by Murdaugh when police officers arrive and he's there, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "Oh, wait a minute, I think this has to do with, my son's lawsuit, and there was a boating accident." I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, that's going to be really damaging for him. I mean, obviously his lawyers are scoring some points, Nicole. Prosecution is scoring some points. This is a heavyweight battle where each side's going to win certain rounds, right?
Right.
But I got to tell you, jurors really hone in on the contemporaneous response of somebody when a crime is committed. And I was really moved by that he's talking about that when part of the brains of his son is next to his foot. So I think that is really damaging for Murdaugh, helpful to the prosecution to show that Murdaugh is immediately trying to manufacture a motive for somebody else to have killed his son.
And it's important to note here, you are a criminal defense attorney. I think that's very important to note, because I agree, and of course, we never know how we'll react in a high-stress situation. Obviously, his wife and his son both murdered there. But does that seem unusual to be, the first thing that somebody would say when first responders arrive on the scene of this brutal double murder?
I mean, are you kidding me, Nicole? Absolutely. You just showed a clip of Daniel Green testifying, right? What did he say? I didn't really see any real tears coming out of him when he shows up and sees his wife and his son, bludgeoned with bullet holes in their head, and he's not crying at the scene of the crime. But you're showing a clip now where he's now crying in a courtroom. And Brian Enton's point's important. Why do you think the jury's looking at him so closely? Because they just heard testimony he didn't cry, right, when he arrived, but now he's crying in court. So maybe that jury's thinking, is he embellishing a bit?
Right. So that kind of leads me to my next question, because, if the defense strategy here is to paint Murdaugh as this sympathetic character, he is crying a lot in court. And granted, there is very graphic, again, testimony, very graphic video that is being shown. But if that is their strategy, can that potentially backfire then when they're getting this testimony from first responders on the scene that was not at all how he responded in the moment?
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point, because the defense lawyers need to know what the evidence is going to be when it comes into court, and then they need to make sure that they've counseled their client properly. Now, Brian Enton just reported that body cam footage is also going to come in, right? So maybe we're going to see through a body cam footage and some audio about interactions with Murdaugh, right? And if his demeanor close to the time of the murder of his wife and son aren't matching up with his demeanor in the courtroom, then that is going to really cast doubt in the juror's mind as to whether he really is hurt and grieving over this killing. And look, his lawyer did a decent point by saying, "Hey, look, what about the tire tracks? You didn't take pictures." Look, I would do the same thing, but that's only going to go so far in this case.
Last question for you, Brian, and just really quickly, if you were the defense attorney in this case after day one, and granted it's only day one, would you be feeling confident or not?
I would not be feeling that confident after the testimony today. I would not.
All right, there it is.
But
all right, go ahead.
One quick though. It's a roller coaster ride during trial, and tomorrow, if you ask me, I might tell you differently that the defense lawyers are feeling better.
Absolutely, it's only day one. Only day one. All right, Brian Claypool, thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.